Today is Wednesday, March 31st. Didn't do a video yesterday because the McClellan oscillator had not changed. So it really still appeared to me that the market, although it had an up day and our balances probably did quite well, we still were stuck below the neutral line, showing that the bears still managed to stay in charge. Well, today, exactly the same. We went from minus 26 on the oscillator in the right direction, but we're still at minus 15. The bears are still technically in charge. There is still this massive complex pattern here, but the bulls are really making a pretty good effort. The problem came at the end of the day, but look at the advancers and decliners. Still leading by 60, so 3-2 advancers over decliners, but the McClellan oscillator was not able to change. So that's a sticking point, and that's a point of caution, although I do have to say I'm optimistic because of what we've seen over the last 2 days, and particularly because the infrastructure bill is out. There are not going to be any personal income tax changes. I think most people would probably agree now that corporations can handle 28% tax rate. Most of them don't pay anywhere close to that anyways. I mean, look at Apple. Has been paying 23-24% before the the Trump corporate tax change. So I don't know what they're at now. Certainly below 20%. Could they handle going back to 23 or 24? Of course they could. And there'll be exemptions for small companies. So this is really very good news. And from an infrastructure point of view, everything in that bill is proposing looks pretty good. So let's take a look at the charts. The Dow Jones touched its closing high, but did not make a closing high. NASDAQ kept just below the 50. The Chiku span ended just above the 50. I mean, so darn close that the Chiku span looks like it's right on this green line where it closed today. So it's right on the 50 simple moving average. Chiku span once again showing that it is affected by trailing moving averages. And finally, the S&P, which was up 0.36%, closed at its all-time high, made an all-time high, but did not close any higher than it did on last Friday or the time before, which was March 17th. So we've got two, was that a Friday? No, that wasn't. That was St. Patrick's Day. I think that was a Thursday or a Wednesday. So there's that. Okay, now let's take a look at some of our really key stocks. Builder up 3.5%, hit the 200% Fibonacci. Now the buy signal for that stock is going to be when it really does break above the 200. That's when you buy some, and then when it comes back to the 200 and tests and moves back up again on that second or third candle, maybe the third candle, then you buy some more. The Chiku span has got no impedance, but the candles do. That's these prior three highs have proven now 2 days out of 3 to be a point of rejection. Alibaba, that's just not a stock that I would feel comfortable in owning. It's just stuck now, bouncing off of this 50%. But look at the Chiku span's direction. Look at the cloud up ahead. Look how much resistance there would be. It's declining as we go on, but then the resistance starts to build again. I think that there's other stocks to own, and it is, quarter of a, it's $226,000. The volatility index still stuck in the complacent area. ALEC had a great day, up $3.21, so 18%. What a volatile stock. But it's nice to see it regaining that loss. I'm so glad that I'm into that stock. 600 shares now. I added another 100 shares of Apple today. It was over 123. I put in an order at 122.85. It eventually got filled, went down to 122.60, 122.45 is where it closed. But where was its point of resistance today? Let's take a look at that green line. And it was the Chiku span hitting the bottom of that candle. So the Chiku span actually pierced the cloud, didn't get resistance there immediately, but did get resistance on the bottom of that candle. The next bottom of the candle, of course, is up here. So you're looking at resistance tomorrow at about 123 in here, 123.03, so 123, and then finally up around 124.80, 124.90. But Apple got several analysts bumps on Monday, and that's pretty good. ABBV, that spin-off from Abbott Labs, AbbVie, biopharmaceuticals, did pierce the cloud as we were hoping that it would, and so has the Chiku Span. That stock is just going to continue to go up. I have 450 shares there, which I purchased through selling U.S. bank shares, which I was just a little bit too heavy in. Also bought some IBM, remember. I haven't bought any in a while, but it finished on the, well, I haven't bought any since Thursday. It was not a while. But it stopped, it got a bounce on the 61.8% Fibonacci. So that's key. We really should be looking at IBM moving up. They are going to benefit from the infrastructure as well. There's going to be consulting. There's going to be purchasing of new computers. They should do well in any infrastructure plays. Home Depot was up a bit. JP Morgan, like the banks, were down. NEO had a pretty good day. Finished above the 8 with his hanging man here. The Chiku Span still has a long way to go before it's going to run into any resistance. The 200 moving average was the signal there for support. This is the EMA, 200 EMA. Now that we've broken above the 8, we should be looking at the next resistance at 40.83. That's a nice stock as well. Glad we hold on to these things. We just have to look at the charts and have confidence in our stocks and not panic. And in times of panic, sell calls so that you can get some revenue. But don't sell calls too close to the strike price, because a sudden shot up is going to lose your stock for you. Better to sell something that has a lower delta that's like May or June, but is at a profitable price for you. So my trades right now in NEO are May 60s, which yesterday were doing quite well, or 2 days ago were doing quite well. Now, not so bad, not so good, but what the heck, the stock is up. And if it ever gets to 60 and they take my stock away, I'm going to be real happy, because I've just been selling a lot of premium while the stock has been doing, well, let's go back to NEO. So while NEO stock has been doing this, I've been selling premium. So by the time it gets back to 60, which is where my last bunch of shares are, between 57 and 62, by the time it gets back there, I'll have recovered my money, but I'll have made money on the premium selling weeklies all the way down. And when the weeklies weren't profitable, I started selling the monthlies and then going out 2 months. And I really do have to show you this spreadsheet on that to show you the amount of premium that I've collected while holding on to these shares, and just feeling that the technicals are my friend, not the news. And look at this, the 200 has certainly been our sign there. Square had a great day, up 7%. Rejection near the 50, but look at where it did get rejection. It closed today right here. The Chiku Span actually pierced the cloud, and the Chiku Span was the resistance today. And right at that point would have been where? Right at the bottom of this candle, right at the bottom of the wick. So again, these Japanese style traders who are using Ichimoku are not only trading with the Fibonacci's, they're also trading with the Chiku Span on the moving averages. That's why something like Motive Wave is such a great thing, because you can do this. Hold on, where are we? You can do this. You can hit right click over here, create an alert, and you can say when the Chiku Span crosses the 50 EMA, trigger an alert, because that's when I want to buy or I want to sell. There are lots of trading systems, lots of traders that trade this way. Motive Wave is pretty good in that it can allow you to set your alerts that way, and not many software programs can do that. AT&T was off 50 cents. It did not have an options, not options, dividend date today, but AGNC did. So my AGNC stocks tumbled quite a bit, but they tumbled between 40 and 45%, which is what the preferred shares are going to pay. And today they were ex-dividend. So that is all we're going to talk about. Let's just see if any of the new stocks we've omitted. Facebook, nice pop up. Chikuspan is in the green. Candles are in the green. Next resistance is going to be, again, another coincidence, a minor Fibonacci, but at exactly $300. Now remember that people who bought up here on the enthusiasm of this move, let's look at RSI bars. Do we still have RSI bars? So right up here, you had Facebook outdoing the relative movement of the indexes. So you had the green RSI bars. So people were piling in, and I'll bet you the volume was particularly good on those days. Let's look back here. Sure enough, look at the volume in these 3 different days. So a lot of people piled into the stock here. They may want to get out when that gets back to 303. A lot of them will probably be having their sell orders at 300. It's a nice round number. It's where these people got in. You can expect some resistance. You want to get into Facebook again or keep adding once it makes a new high. So perhaps once it hits 300 and holds above 300 for a few days, then you want to add some more.